Anyways, unhinged vice journalist Anna Valens found out about after targeting problematic VTuber in a livelihood by Rest desu. Let's just go. Let's just go. The Kirsche.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. Welcome to part 4 of my saga covering the ongoing cancel campaign targeting the VTuber Kirsche. A lot has happened over the past couple of days since the last time we talked about this, including Kirsche's ban on Twitch, some major fallout involving the publications who made the various hit pieces on her. We're also going to look at the immense crash outs happening among the activists in the VTubing scene. Now, before we get into all of that, I want to do a small segue here to this Blue Sky post I saw while searching about this situation. It says this: acting afraid of losing sponsors and hating cancel culture, and then turning around and sending a hate mob to harass a smaller black VTuber to the point of her losing her sponsorships is pretty hypocritical.
Wait, no, that's not what happened. She was dropped because she was racist to people. Very simple. They didn't harass the small black VTuber. First of all, why do you bring up skin color? It has nothing to do with the VTuber being black, first of all. Second of all, she lost the sponsor, which is the same sponsor that sponsors Ref, by the way. So this should have been understood from the get-go that this would eventually happen if you do something like that. She was racist and called white people, essentially, Mayo moon crickets. Because, you know, there's no slur for white people. I guess cracker would fall under that category, but I don't know. Or mayonnaise monkey. I don't know. Regardless, she was dropped because she was racist to people. Very simple. Also, this is bullying. Fuck bullies. But then again, you were bullying Kirsche. So that makes no sense.
All after she tweeted in response to the racism: "This is bullying. F bullies." So this person, if you took them at their word, you would think they're talking about some innocent creator who was randomly attacked by Kirsche. But here's the reality. It's actually something we talked about in the previous video. It's a VTuber who initiated a fight with Kirsche.
There, look. So much Kirsche hate up on my timeline recently. And to that, I say, keep it going, guys. By the way, once again, this was a life ruination campaign. Because remember, everyone you don't agree with is a Nazi. I'm too. I was just called that recently. But yeah. I love to see those racist, Nazi, Mayo Moon crickets, this is the racist part here, get dragged to filth. And that's what got her cooked. And then she was like, I don't care. This doesn't matter to me. Huh, you were an ambassador for Advanced GG, so shut it. Oh, you didn't care so much that you had another crash out on Discord? Yeah, you didn't care for real. Gringo is Hispanic, slur for white people too. Yeah. But black people don't have one except for white people except cracker, I think.
And then called her a Mayo moon cricket, which is a phrase you would expect out of Dr. Seuss if there was racism in that universe. Like a very goofy term, but clearly they're trying to make a racist remark towards Kirsche, and this would backfire. They would lose their sponsorship with Advanced GG, and in response to that, they would also say in a coping session here, they would say, this is actually a good thing because I just found out that Rev is sponsored by Advanced, which then I turn into a campaign here, and today is the final day you can use code REV30 to save 30% off your total Advanced GG order. Use that link.
Rev, stop it every single damn time. You've been using the small VTuber for this. Not gonna lie.
In the pinned comment and Rev30 at checkout. So as you can see, lots of flavor jars for you to pick from, including a new one that just dropped today, a Peach Rings Focus Jar here. I would guarantee it tastes very well, just like all of their other flavors. You also have my special ones here, like Rev's Blueberry Sparkle, as well as the fan favorite, clearly, Rev's Rocket Pop, which you guys really enjoy, but there's the other flavors, and you'll notice there's 3 types. There's energy, focus, and hydration. Personally, I prefer energy because this is a great alternative. You get the same energy boost you get from traditional sources like energy drinks and pre-workout, but you get that without the crash associated with those other types. So I definitely recommend that. But you can see all the flavor jars. Highly recommend using this code to check them out. And if you need something to help you mix the flavor jars, we of course have these various shakers. If you want a more like affordable option, you have the plastic shaker, but also these ice shakers that are very high quality, will keep your drink cold all day. Use that code REV30 and the link in the pinned comment. I just want to quickly say thank you guys for the insane support on this. We actually had to restock some of the jars because you guys went that crazy. So yes, I definitely appreciate the support, and of course supporting this campaign makes the worst people absolutely seethe. So anyways, let's return to the main story here. So last time we talked about...
I still can't believe that. I still cannot believe that Kirsche took this letter for Vice to Vice. Well, not she, but she asked somebody else to do it. I still think this is one of the most based moves I've ever seen. Ever. Like pulling up to your ops with a letter, or letting somebody pull up to your ops with a letter. That's some crazy aura.
About this is where we left off on this tweet where Kirsche had someone cosplaying as her character drop off this Google Doc on the door of Vice, which contains some retraction requests in regards to the 3 hit piece articles Vice made on her, and also there was a threat of legal action if they did not. That's where we left things off. However, in response to that, Vice would remove the articles. This happened as my video went live. I put a quick little note about this in the description, so in case you didn't see that, as the video went live, those articles were in fact taken down by Vice, which is really the smartest move they could do at this point, but the damage has really been done at this point, and you can see Kirsche also tagging other publications that made hit pieces and is of course asking them to retract their...
Yeah, that's the first article was a Sportskita article, right? That first article. And you will not believe it. They included a clip. So they said one thing and included a clip that debunked the thing. So they debunked themselves in their own article. Sometimes I feel like these articles are written by AI. Sometimes I genuinely feel like these articles are written by AI. Because remember, there's more and more articles out there that are just written by AI. Just slop articles.
Hit pieces as well. We'll get into that in just a second, but let's focus on Vice, right? 2 of the articles were made by Anna Vellens, and the third one was made by Vice in defense of Anna Vellens and her campaign against Kirsche. This is a very ridiculous individual. This is someone who is a massive hypocrite, someone who is really just has it out for Kirsche. They're trying to engage in life ruination. They're trying to deplatform Kirsche. They're trying to get their sponsors taken away. And this person and their online behavior is best described.
It's so good that this person got fucked. It's so good. It's so good. We don't need this dude here. We don't need him. We don't need him. Not gonna lie. That audio with the grape fantasy, the macaroni, the pop project, that was all we ever needed from this person. And obviously the fart ASMR. The fart ASMR.
Described as completely ridiculous. This is a ridiculous person. And as you can see, they have deactivated their Twitter account after those articles were taken down by their boss over at Vice. And now they've moved over to Blue Sky, where oddly enough, even in their own echo chamber, they're making this attempt to leave that as well, saying this: given harassment, slander, and egregious lying about me continues at a pretty heavy scale, I will no longer be accessible on Blue Sky for the indefinite future. I'll have friends post article and audio announcements on my behalf. Everyone, please remain vigilant against ongoing slander.
That was no harassment. There was no slander. There were no egregious lies. Just the truth. By the way, this person said that they pass as a woman. And the picture is just a fat man in a crop top. No joke.
Lies about me. I encourage you all to express yourself freely, openly, and actively. Fight for what is right, and ask others to tap in to fight. Love you all, from Anna. So they're trying to pseudo step away from Blue Sky, but as you'll see here, they'll say this: while I have no comment on the circumstances that led to this matter. The circumstances. Let me remind everyone what the circumstances are. They made 2 hit piece articles on Kirsche, calling her a white supremacist, a Nazi, a racist, a bigot, all those things. And then Anna, on her own personal Twitter account, went after her sponsors, tagging them relentlessly, trying to get them to abandon Kirsche. That is the circumstance that they drew criticism for.
This isn't the full circumstance, right? This begins way earlier than before Kirsche. This begins with vAllure, which is a loot-tuber VTuber agency, right? And they had a crash out because vAllure just hires women because they are a agency targeting men. And saying that they're transphobic for not hiring trans people. Like, no shit. I don't hire women when I need to hire men. Makes sense. Because I don't need them. Wow. In addition to the Macaroni in the Pot project with the breeding facilities, there's a lot of stuff that is on this guy's, plate.
They picked a fight with Kirsche and they got absolutely bodied. And down here, they're also saying this: to anyone who's going out and attacking them, many people are speaking on my behalf to take a cheap shot at my managing editor, someone who's been incredible to me since the very first death threat was sent my way. I am not your bludgeon to take a shot at a boss who has been incredible towards me during this harassment. So what they're...
Obviously, I agree. Never send death threats to anyone. Never do that. But at the same time, if you say there were death threats, please show.
What they're saying is they're stepping away from Blue Sky, but they're having their friends and managers and all these people post on their behalf, posting things like articles and other things that they can make money off of. And then they're saying, but don't say anything back to these people because they're not me, so you're wasting your time. I am highly suspect that this is just Anna Vellens running their Blue Sky account, and they're trying to find this way to make it seem like you're wasting your time if you're criticizing any of their posts because it's not them making it. It's a very elaborate attempt to avoid any sort of confrontation or criticism, which, of course, isn't too surprising.
What are the chances that Anna Vellens did not leave Blue Sky and is tweeting, quote unquote? What do you do? Posting, whatever you want to call it. Still on Blue Sky, and they did not leave. And then, in addition to that, that reminds me, this is Bint behavior. Bint also did the same shit. Said he wouldn't talk about Kirsche anymore, and still tweets 24/7 about Kirsche. Rent free. Rent free.
Surprising, but also, as pointed out in this tweet, they did a stream where they talked about the situation going on with Vice and Kirsche, and this was their sort of update regarding everything going on. It basically sounds like Vice is putting a muzzle on Anna Vellens.
I know a lot of folks have been asking me specifics about the VTuber articles, and there's just just no comment. Like, there's nothing else to really add at this point. And that also includes the Velour article. There hasn't been anything around the Velour article. I think of them as sort of a series, and so I don't want to comment on that one either. So if that makes sense, it's just the Velour.
You can't comment on them because there's nothing to comment on. You got your ass beat in the quotes, in the replies, in the videos. You got cooked left and right, and your supporters are just as bad as you are. There's not much to say here.
Article is connected to everything, so I don't. Well, it's via lore, but it's connected to everything, so there's not gonna be any public commentary for me about that stuff or in my Discord. And again, I am gonna ask when you come into my streams or any of my other social media not to talk about.
So as I pointed out earlier, Kirsche also tagged the other publications that made hit pieces on her with a similar retraction request as she made to Vice. We'll begin with Sports Kita. So this is their lack of a response. The article they made is still up, where they try to paint her as some sort of bigot. And again, I didn't really hammer this home last time we talked about this. Sports Kita is a sports publication. They primarily
Tung 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 sahu. Hi Eseth, how you doing? Hope you're doing good. What? I mean, the name makes sense, right? Sports Kita being focused. Yeah, I mean it makes sense there. NFL, NBA, NHL, WWE, MLB, NCAF, AAF. That makes sense. But why? But why is a sports art, like sports focused website, whatever you want to say, talking about VTuber drama? Focus on your goddamn sports. Huh? You're completely lost.
focus on cricket. So they are seething about Kirsche so much that they're going off brand to make this hit piece article on her. It makes literally no sense, and the article is still up, as I have stated. But the other person that was tagged, the other publication, was Stealth Optional, who made various articles on Kirsche as well.
That one I haven't seen, though. Various articles. I haven't seen that one. That is a new one. That one is new. Wait, so looks like Stealth Optional took down the Kirsche article and the Chibi Reviews one. There was a Chibi Reviews one as well. Interesting.
Well as Chibi Reviews, because that guy doesn't have enough harassment to deal with, and those related articles have been taken down. But I want to point out,
yeah, the harassment of Chibi Reviews is a special one, not gonna lie. They crashed out so hard over this dude that they desecrated his brother's grave, posted actual CSAM content on his, I think, was it a Deviant account? I think it was a Deviant account. They really do, this man cannot catch a break. In addition of that, there's some weird freaks and weirdos who just keep pictures of him, his dad or grandpa, and his younger sister around. Like, what the fuck? You are absolute fucking weirdos.
two things. Number one, the author of those articles has deactivated on Twitter earlier today, obviously trying to avoid accountability. It's a classic journalist move. The second they get any sort of feedback or criticism, they deactivate on social media. But this is the article they made, the last article they made, saying Kirsche allegedly streams erotica on Twitch amid trans dehumanization allegations. And this is a screenshot of what they were saying. Kirsche, the VTuber recently positioned herself as a victim of cancel culture, is again in the news after she allegedly streamed erotica live on Twitch, reportedly, in quotes, magical girl force femme siscon erotica. This was interpreted by many as a
what? Huh? Ain't no way. They're really pulling shit out of their ass at this point. They just are. This is ridiculous.
Deliberate smear and dehumanization of a trans journalist, Anna Vellens. The streamed erotica was considered to be a sharp and cruel, sarcastic attack, mocking portrayal of transgender stereotypes. Boy, that's a lot of words to say she read Anna's own work, and somehow that dehumanized her. Interesting. But the reason I point out this, not only is it misrepresenting the situation, she did not play erotica. She read fan fiction made by Anna Vellens, and also this was not some part of a smear.
Yeah, and that, by the way, which is funny, that fan fiction got her banned of Twitch for like a day. That's how bad that fan fiction was. Not the smartest, Kirsche, I gotta say, that's not the smartest move I've seen by you. That is actually not even a smart move. That's just very interesting that you did that.
Campaign, they're reading their words back to them, but a lot of people believe this article was behind the banning of Kirsche. Kirsche has been banned on Twitch. In fact, it is her first ban on the platform. And a lot of the wackadoos and the activists are going crazy in the replies and quotes, thinking this is a immense victory, that racism and bigotry has been defeated on this day, that their internet boogeyman, or Fox here, has been defeated. Well, unfortunately for them, it's a one-day ban, so she'll be back tomorrow. But you can see
Lord Kirsche fell. Nah, yeah, makes sense. She should have not read that. That wasn't smart. But yeah. Celebrating this like some sort of great victory towards Kirsche is funny to me. And was it AI slop article too? Interesting.
the reason they provided, it's for sexual content. Obviously, this was referring to the fan fiction that she was reading, obviously trying to poke fun at Anna Valens, the same person that engaged in a life ruination campaign against her. And the reason the fan fiction is also very funny is because she's someone who is trying to cancel others over fictional content, and that's the kind of stuff that she produces herself. But anyways, that seems to be very clear here that that was the reason for her ban, and like I said, it's just for a day. And also you can see Asmongold commenting on the situation in the replies saying, surely this won't call into question all of the previous bad actions on Twitch that went unpunished. It's genuinely shocking to me that Twitch executive leadership allow their moderation team to continue to destroy their brand. I think this is...
Yeah, I mean, makes sense, right? Consider this, right? Reading a lewd fanfiction on Twitch gets you a day ban. Filming your dirty old fanny through a glass chair gets you nothing. Literally, promoting your OF gets you nothing on a website that's for 13+. Supporting terrorism gets you nothing. But reading that fanfiction? Death sentence. Die.
This is very obvious. Do you really want to open up this can of worms and look at what Kirsche is getting banned for and what other people are not getting banned for? Twitch is an absolute joke at this point. There's pretty much no reason to have any respect for their moderation team. They're clearly very biased. Because Kirsche is someone who is right-leaning, they go after her for anything, but people who are left-leaning get away with whatever they want. That's the way Twitch is. If you disagree with me, you're not looking at the objective reality of what's going on with the moderation team on that platform. But of course, as Kirsche...
Oh, nah. Oh, nah, that's the... Nah! Nah! No! No! Ref! I already put that back, way back into my mind. In darkness. In deep darkness. Why do you have to remind me? Why do you have to remind me? I put that deep away into the most darkest pits of my mind. And you put it back. Why? You know, I cannot... He's probably not going to play it. But essentially, it's a Giantess War Fart ASMR session.
Replied here, maybe if she had done... None of those words are in the Bible. She says if she did content...
None of those words are in the Bible. That makes sense. I wouldn't want those words in the Bible either.
Like that Anna does, they wouldn't get banned. And I made the critical error of unmuting this video, and it's everything that's being described.
I unmuted. You made a critical error? I heard to listen to the entire thing. I listened to the entire thing, and I wanted to die. I genuinely just sat there and was like, how the fuck can you stream this on Twitch? This is streamed on Twitch, and yes, it is fart sounds. It is fart sounds in the background.
Here, and my ears are bleeding. That's all I can say, but it's ironic that her own content like this goes untouched, but when people mimic her content, they get banned. Very interesting, but of course, all of the activists in the VTubing scene are going crazy. This
You see, people were like, oh, it's so good that finally VTubers talk about politics. And like, even back in the day, they talked about politics. It was like, I've never heard Gagura talk about politics. I've never heard Mori talk about politics. It's not that VTubers aren't supposed to talk about politics. You brought that in here. Like, you activist weirdo freaks Twitter freaks, you brought that here. And now we have to deal with this shit.
This is their Super Bowl victory. Seeing Kirsche get banned for one day, having a free day off, essentially, who will probably come back to immense levels of support, but they can't contain themselves.
The support was not only immense, it was so immense that Kirsche was #1 super chatted streamer. That's how immense the support was.
With their excitement over this. And you see the normal people in the replies saying she should have been killed. Instead, this person saying, good, tired of these VTubers who spew out the N-word and incite dangerous ideals into people and face no repercussions for their pathetic actions just because they're a hot image that moves. There is freedom of speech, but there are consequences of some speech, especially hateful. Nice light novel you wrote there about Kirsche apparently running around and spewing the...
This is somebody who only gets their information from somewhere else and not from the actual person. They don't look at both sides. I've never heard Kirsche say the N-word. I've never heard her say the gamer word. Not once. She hasn't said that. At least as far as I'm aware. Weirdo.
N-word and doing all this crazy stuff. I wonder if also we will hold people to accountability for their dangerous ideals that run rampant among people I'm sure this person agrees with. Also, you just look at the people.
26, pan furry pronouns, he, him. Milo High Mountain fanboy sim, pictures by me, and Berserk has made me afraid of eclipses. You make a Berserk afraid. You make Guts afraid.
People posting stuff like this, and it just speaks for itself. But also people were quick to point out that there is an organized report campaign on Blue Sky where they're trying to, or were trying to, get Kirsche banned. And you can see the blind intentions here. People saying they're opening up the stream and they're reporting her channel without even giving or understanding why they're reporting her. You can see people saying we should respond with an organized report campaign on her channels, Twitch and YouTube. And they want to force her onto Rumble, which would kill her career, as they state here. And then this person says it's not a viable option for promoting Nazi views on and off Twitch, showing people how...
The fact that you can get banned on Twitch for off-Twitch behavior should not be a thing. I guess if you're a PDF, sure. But aside from that, you should not. That should not be a thing. What the heck? Also, I have to say this. This did not work on Kirsche. But it did work on the Rat Girl. It did work on Ririgaki. I think it's what she's called. The degen rat VTuber. That did work, unfortunately, on Twitter. And her main account is gone. And I hate the fact that it's gone. Because that makes these people think they win. But apparently she's trying to fight back and get her main account back. I hope she does, because that shit is bullshit. They've been canceling her for being a supposed Nazi, but they can't provide any. Like, I've had a discussion with somebody. They were not able to provide any clue of her being that, and they were calling her a PDF for once again being a lolicon. Once again, they cannot provide any IRL proof of real life children being involved.
How to report her, and also people directly linking her account and telling people to report her without even giving a reason or a clip for any of these reports that are being made. Obviously exploiting the system, but this is Blue Sky, the biggest echo chamber in the world. Of course they're doing stuff like that. And going over to Blue Sky, it is a circus. If you search up Kirsche, you see the absolute seething and the weirdos coming out of the woodwork to try to celebrate this or to glorify what's going on here. This person saying, since Kirsche has been banned, now can Asmongold be next? Like, seriously, someone deplatformed this effing clown entirely already. Yeah, these are the tolerant people when they encounter someone with anything that is different.
We don't share the same word, we don't share the same views. You must be a Nazi. That is what we currently live in. Also, Twitch would never ban Asmongold because he gives the website a lot of traction. Just saying. That would never happen. He is one of the most... He is actually currently probably, like, close to... At least in the top 10 streamers on Twitch. He's probably higher. He's #1 political streamer, so there's that. No way they're gonna ban him. That makes no sense.
In terms of an opinion or a viewpoint or politics, they want you completely ruined. They want you deplatformed. They want you silenced. Nothing is new here. But also, I found this fascinating. This is a conversation, like a group, for people who are VTubers against fascists and Nazis. They're having a sort of...
What? The actual... Fuck. VTubers against fascists and Nazis? What? Yeah, I know exactly. The moment I see these VTubers, I know exactly who to not interact with. What the fuck? Of course, on a hiatus, because these people never... What are the chances that these VTubers are actually just VTweeters and have never made any content in their life, never streamed once? What are the chances? What are the chances? Same reason why girls call each other sluts, I guess. Yeah, I think humanity lost words value. Yep. Some words are just so heavily devalued. It's just crazy. Also, I feel like it's just so dumb. It's just so dumb. This is just so dumb. Why does that even exist?
Self-help group trying to organize all of these people in the VTubing scene so they can have this communal therapy session about Kirsche. I mean, this is obviously about Kirsche. They're labeling her as a fascist and a Nazi, and these are...
KDS? Is it real? KDS? Kirsche derangement syndrome? I think it's real. I think it's real. Same with Trump derangement syndrome. Same category.
Are the tips to get them out of the community. They're against it. I mean, this is literally like coming out and saying 9/11 bad. By coming out here and saying VTubers against fascists and Nazis. Like, wow, congratulations. You're so bold with your statements. And look at the normal, tolerant people.
Like, true. Like, true. What are you saying, VTubers against fascists and Nazis? Who is for fascists and Nazis except fascists and Nazis? Like, wow, so bold. So bold. What's next? VTubers against beheadings? Like, no shit, Sherlock. It's bad. What? The grass is green. The sky is blue.
People in the replies saying, yes, I'm absolutely and completely in. And this thing says, punch Nazi VTubers with an image of Kirsche. And then the person who started this says, absolutely. Wow, that doesn't seem very tolerant to me. But then you see stuff like this, a person saying, anyway, a not so subtle reminder, we don't take kindly to Nazis or Nazi-adjacent shitheads round here. And they have this thing saying, bash the fash, which...
The crazy thing is that these people, right? They act exactly like this or this. They act exactly like this.
Which I guess is supposed to be a threat of physical violence to anyone they deem as a Nazi or Nazi adjacent, which is an interesting one. I mean, number one, everyone who disagrees with them is a Nazi, but now they're putting out this term, Nazi adjacent. I've never heard of that one before. I guess I have to give them some kudos for creativity. So,
also, what is Nazi adjacent? If I'm patriotic, would that already be considered Nazi adjacent? Yeah, this video is getting fat demonetized, by the way.
Before you're violently attacked, I would want to wonder why or how someone defines a Nazi adjacent person. But then again, you don't have to worry about any of this because the people make posts like this and threats like this.
Also, CEO of girl kissing. I could guarantee you, no woman is touching you. Even if you're a lesbian, no woman is touching you. You get 0 bitches.
they would have a panic attack if their mailman tried to like talk to them, try to start up a conversation, okay? So I don't think you have much to worry about with that. But on top of that, there's some very disturbing fan fictions I'm finding on here. This person's saying, breaking, VTuber Kirsche found dead in home at 37. The totally sane, normal people making fan fictions about her dying. That's blue sky.
I think Ref doesn't even know this, or maybe he does. Maybe he has covered it in part 5. Somebody wrote a grape fan fiction about Ririgaki and Kirsche. That's how one. You can't take these people seriously, because if you want to take them seriously, they do weird shit like this. They do weird shit like this, where they write fan fictions of deleting people or fan fictions of graping people. What are you gonna do with that? You can't do anything with that. Poke is Nazi adjacent. I can live with that.
Behavior right there. And this person would also make a little video. They're trying to like bait Kirsche into thinking they're on her side, so they'll go on their podcast or whatever. Let me just play a little bit of this for you guys.
Studios do something like this. She was only racist and transphobic and an awful person. Why can't we let that happen in this space? Has the woke left really taken over that much? So, with all of that being said, Irisu, am taking it upon myself to invite Kirsche onto Poison Point.
Kirsche.
Yeah, I don't think she's interested. Where did they find these people, by the way? Blue Sky is a different beast. It is a...
I should make a Blue Sky. I should make a Blue Sky account. and just find the most deranged thing and just turn it into a compilation of me reacting to the most deranged shit posts on Blue Sky. I mean, they tolerate maps, so there's that.
Very strange place. We all know it's an echo chamber, but the people there are just so unhinged and so unwell. But yeah, that's just a glimpse of what's going on over at Blue Sky. It's a lot worse if I would imagine it's a lot worse if I kept digging over there, but I've had enough of the people from Blue Sky. They're quite deranged. But anyways, that's going to do it for the latest update on this whole situation involving Kirsche. As always, give her support, and she'll be back tomorrow, and I'm sure her stream's going to pop off, and it's going to blow up in the face of people trying to go after her once again. Maybe they'll learn their lesson this time and stop talking about her, but until then, we'll just have to wait and see. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down.
My thoughts are very simple. All these people are retarded and need to be put into some mental institution. They need serious help, especially the ones that wish death upon others and write great fan fictions and harass others into, I don't know, whatever. It just put them all away. They all suffer from Kirsche derangement syndrome. That's it. That's all to say. That's all I have to say.